Iowa caucuses on Monday. Joni Ernst is the senator from Iowa. Senator Ernst, welcome back to the Hugh Hewitt Show.
Hey, great to be with you, Hugh. Thank you.
It's going to be 3 degrees below zero. I don't know what the wind chill is going to be like across Iowa. How do you expect turnout to be next week?
Well, I do hope that people turn out regardless of weather. We are getting some pretty heavy snow across the state. But, yeah, it's going to be an exciting time, and it only rolls around once every 4 years. So, folks, get out to your caucuses.
Have you endorsed anyone, Senator Ernst?
I have not. This is a long-standing tradition between the U.S. senators from Iowa. We want to welcome everyone into the state. We don't want to, pick someone ahead of the caucuses, and we just want to see as much participation as possible.
Now, Senator, my hypothetical is that President Trump is going to be the nominee. Let's just take that as a hypothetical. Nikki Haley is surging in. She had a very good town hall last night. Ron DeSantis is still in the game. One of those three will be the nominee. But let's just assume that former President Trump is the nominee again. I have a column over at Fox News this morning. I've started right there on Tuesdays and Thursdays that lists 6 people who could be his running mate. I put you on that list because all 6 of my people are people with experience in the military and national security. How important do you think that is for a vice presidential nominee if it is indeed the former president?
Well, if it is the former president, and, he's really doing quite well in Iowa, of course, but I do think that having a level of experience, whether it's foreign policy or military, is extremely important. If you look around the world and everything that's going on, whether it's the Houthis that are targeting American service members abroad, whether it is the war in Israel and Gaza, the war in Ukraine, I think it's incredibly important that you have someone with the level of experience and background that brings credibility into that office. So, Hugh, yes, I think it's incredibly important.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot and ask you whether or not you would agree. I know you probably would, but I've listed Tom Cotton, Joni Ernst, Mike Gallagher, Mike Pompeo, Robert O'Brien, and Dan Sullivan. My question is to you. Generally, not specifically with regards to any of these, do you think former President Trump, if he is the nominee and it's certain that he's nominee after Super Tuesday, should he name his vice president early because he's going to be in trial after trial and we need someone to go out there and raise money, raise awareness, raise issues? What do you think?
I do think it's important to announce someone early. And, of course, we see a lot of partisan pushing at the president, and this will continue through this next year. So you do need a surrogate out there that's able to raise the money and to speak to a number of the issues that we will be facing in these next number of years. We have had an incredibly weak president with President Biden, and we just see the world imploding around us because of that weak leadership. So you do need someone that's out there, that will be out there early and often and communicating with the voters. I think that also will be very important.
Now, I'm also going to make an argument in future weeks at Fox News that he ought to name his cabinet, and maybe not down to the level of specificity as running mate, but of my Secretary of Defense, it'll be Pompeo, Cotton, or Mike Waltz, that sort of thing. My Homeland Security will be Joni Ernst or Mike Gallagher, that sort of thing. Do you think it would help to have a bench to compare to the actual President Bumble administration? Because I no longer call President Biden President Bumble.
Yes, and, to have a selection available out there is great to do, and it just demonstrates to those that may be undecided that this will be a very thoughtful president, someone who has taken great consideration of those that might be assuming these positions. With the Biden administration, we see all of these people, they're political hacks basically moving into very important positions. And I just look at like the number 3 out at Derek Chollet, the nominee for the policy position. And I don't know that he'll even get through the Senate, but the guy has been so Iranian friendly.
I know, it's astonishing.
It's astonishing. Crazy. So I think to have someone who is a nominee for president that has put thoughtful consideration into who will serve on the cabinet will be very important and demonstrate to American voters especially those that are undecided or maybe a little soft in the middle. It will help them understand that this is going to be a solid administration that works for the American people, not for special interests like the Iranians.
Senator Ernst, you've been in uniform for a long time, so I want to ask you about Secretary Austin. It's my belief that any commander or captain or admiral or general would have been relieved of duty if they went missing in action and didn't tell anyone for 5 days. Should Secretary Austin be fired or resign?
Well, I have very strong personal feelings about this. It's absolutely inexcusable what happened. I think as a member of Congress, we are demanding oversight. I think that needs to happen. We need to flesh that out. And then he needs to step up to that challenge and decide what is the right thing for the American people. If he can't be there and if he can't inform his chain of command, nor his boss, the President of the United States, that he is incapacitated, that is an issue. So I think we'll see movement here in the next couple of weeks, and I hope he chooses to do the right thing.
Quick, am I right about my assumption that any colonel and above and any captain above on the Navy side would have been relieved of
No,
command?
heavens. Yes, Hugh, absolutely.
Senator Joni, it's always good to talk to you. Enjoy the caucus on Monday night and
You
keep
bet.
coming back.